Some games are set in worlds of pure fantasy, others in recreations of actual locations, and some are set in fictional worlds that evoke the real one, like Dishonored, a game that reminds me of home. That's a weird thing to say about a game set in a city that looks like this, but Dishonored feels like a real environment in a way that most of its antecedents never really managed to. And I don't think that's only because those games are older and lower in fidelity. I think it's down to the extent of research and use of reference. Sebastian Mitton's 2013 GDC talk revealed that Dishonored's artists and level designers made trips to London and Edinburgh and drew upon paintings and photographic references, pulling details from the 16th to the early 20th centuries into a single city. We only see Dunwall in the throes of a catastrophic plague, but it clearly wasn't a pleasant place to visit even before that, full of filthy factories and slaughterhouses dedicated to the grotesque industry of whale oil extraction. When we see the city, it's in a state of collapse, both figurative and literal, like the bubonic plague and hard Brexit rolled into one. When I played Dishonored, I found myself fascinated by the geography, by the sense of place it conjured, and I think it's because of what it looks like where I live. There's a lot of different architectural styles in Dunwall: Jacobean, Victorian glasswork, Art Nouveau, but the more industrial and less affluent parts of the city are, to me, a dystopian version of the towns of the English Midlands and the North, the place that I grew up. This is the architecture of the Industrial Revolution. Soot-blackened brick, chimneys towering over vast factories, advertising hoardings on the sides of buildings. And while most of those structures were torn down decades ago, supplanted by concrete and steel and glass, you can still walk around my home city of Nottingham and find enclaves of this era of rapid industrial expansion. And that to me is what makes Dunwall so interesting. It's a place that's alien and fantastical, but at the same time full of subtly familiar details. Not everyone's going to have this experience, but I can't separate my perception of this game's world from the architecture I've always lived around. It's this kind of personal resonance that can really make a game world feel intriguing and lifelike, that distinguish it from other games, that elevate it above just a collection of polygons and textures to a place that takes root in the mind. Not just a game world you look at on a screen, but a place you go. Walk through certain Nottingham streets, and it feels like Dunwall isn't that far away. Perhaps down an alleyway or on the other side of an unmarked door, you could get a sudden view of Coldwin's Bridge, or turn a corner to the Hound Pits. Dishonored's world is just a sidestep from my own backyard. Okay, if it wasn't clear by now, I'm carrying on with my original 12 in 12 list, even though we're now in month 14 technically. It's probably going to end up being 12 in 20 or something. So I'm going to continue playing the games on my original list and making a video for each.